Hey, everybody, welcome to another live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm crazy excited. We got the Schmodown draft happening in like a couple of hours, but I got to do this show because I want to talk about pro wrestling. I want to talk about Royal Rumble predictions, previews. Want to talk about Peacock and NBC. Want to talk about Shaq taking on Cody. There's so much we're going to get into today, but I'm the Outlaw, John Rocha, joined as always by my brother over there in Orlando, Aaron Turner. How are you, man?
Cheers. I'm out here buying. I've been listening to a lot of Gary V. If you don't know who Gary V is, you should know Gary Vanderchuk. And I'm buying a lot of basketball rookie cards, John. I'm trying to get back into the hobby. Yeah, a lot of stuff's going down. So if you got rookie cards, you need to send them to me if you want to.
I do. I've got a few. I've got Shaq as a rookie. I've got a few. Like my sister gave me a bunch of basketball cards from way back when. So and baseball cards as well. We actually have a card shop near the house. I should probably drive over with that stack and see what the deal is and see if they will kind of take care of me and see if I can get some money for this shit, man. I'm sure
they would. The hobby's on fire right now. Like I know we talk a lot about collecting wrestling figures and stuff, but oh my god, sports cards are on fire.
I didn't know that. I thought,
oh my god,
I thought it was not something that they were doing anymore. But now it seems like you're saying they're picking it up like crazy.
It's on fire, like
fire.
Just as an example, a Patrick Mahomes rookie card from a low end, like a low end set, is going for about $5,000.
Wow.
So yeah.
What?
So, yeah, $5,000.
Patrick Mahomes
and a Justin Herbert card just went for $30,000. Justin Herbert. Yeah, $30,000.
But it has to be like a unique card, right? It's like
it's super unique. Like it's just $30,000, dude.
Wow. Is there a particular brand?
Panini is like the top brand in football.
Okay.
And then like Panini Prism in basketball and football. Then of course Topps in baseball. I don't really get much into baseball. I find it boring, even though I'm wearing a Mariners hat. Yeah. But yeah. So we're not here to talk about sports cards.
No, we're not.
But I'm just saying, like, if you got sports cards out there you've been sitting on for a minute, you may want to dig them up.
That's a separate show.
People are going crazy for them. That's a new show on the Outlaw Nation.
That's right.
Card Talk.
10 people watch that one.
10 people,
but you might be wrong. I might be wrong, though. You might, like you said, it might be the best thing you can do right now for sure. But we're going to get into so many things today. As I just mentioned, we got our Royal Rumble predictions and previews. We got all the news coming down about who might be showing up, who might not be showing up. We're going to get into that a little bit later on in the show, and I'll be playing a clip as well of my time on ESPN San Antonio last night. The guys over there on Down for the Count podcast, Brandon Medina and Dan Solana, they were so kind to have me on the show last night. I was on there for like 15 minutes shooting the shit with them about the Royal Rumble, talking about wrestling, talking about WWE. Dan went ahead and defended the Iconics right off the bat. So I'm gonna play a little bit of that, and then I'll play a little bit of who we might think might be showing up and see what they think about certain people that might be showing up to get some big pops when we get into our Royal Rumble conversation for sure. But guys, don't forget the Streamlabs and the Super Chats are open for you to send stuff in right above Aaron's head. The Streamlabs address also in the description of this video. It should be there as well. If you have any questions, just send it in the chat. I pinned it to the chat as well. Would love some support today for the show and for everything we got going on here. So let's get to it here for sure. Aaron, what's our first topic of discussion today?
So the first thing we are talking about is the Peacock streaming service, which is an NBC streaming service, extremely Office and different NBC shows in there from past and present. Yeah. The one version of Peacock is free, unless you want some newer content, which that costs money, or premium content costs a little money. But the good thing is the WWE Network is moving to Peacock in a rumored $1 billion deal.
Wow.
It's going to launch May the 18th.
Yep.
And right away, we're going to see two big changes to the WWE Network. One, they're going to do a signature documentary. Mm-hmm. In my notes, it says each month, but I believe that was corrected to each quarter.
Okay.
Starting in 2022. So you're going to have one signature documentary. WWE produces Chronicle 24/7, that kind of stuff. They're really great at their documentaries. They're one of the best out there in terms of sports documentaries. And with the popularity of The Last Dance and all that kind of stuff, people want to see more sports documentaries. So you're going to get them in 2022. The other good thing about this is the price is cut in half. The Peacock Premium to get Peacock Premium, it's $4.99.
Yes.
So you're saving $5 a month because the WWE Network is $9.99. So all good things here, and it caught me off guard because WWE ratings have been down. Like Raw's been down,
right.
And SmackDown's been really holding it down in terms of entertainment value.
Yeah,
but there's no denying that the WWE has such a vast library with WCW, ECW, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, all that kind of stuff that they have, just oodles and oodles. 700 hours, I think, of content is what they said is moving over to Peacock. So
17,000 hours. Yeah.
What do you think about this, man?
I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea to do this. Also for both people involved, right? Because the WWE gets, I think, $1 billion up front for it. So that's essentially what they were already kind of making, or relatively close to making, every year anyway. They reported, I think, 190 let me see. I want to look up the stats correctly. I have the stats here. I don't want to misquote the number here. Yeah, in 2019, the company reported $184.6 million in revenue from its subscription network, down from $199.3 million in 2018. Now, we don't know in 2020 what the numbers are yet, but I imagine it skyrocketed up back to there because of everybody being home. And so you have no excuse not to watch some WWE Network content if you want to, or no excuse not to sign up for sure. And yeah, you talk about the $4.99, that's what it'll be. But if you want to get Peacock Premium Plus, it's $9.99. So you'll get everything without any ads. So you'll be able to watch all the content plus all the Peacock content, like The Office, Parks and Rec, Law and Order, whatever the hell is on there. That if you like the Saved by the Bell show, that new show that just renewed for a second season, that's all on there. So there's a lot. And this is, once again, the move here is towards streaming services. Disney Plus is doing it. We hear these HBO Max announcements, Sex and the City, Game of Thrones possibly as an animated series, a Harry Potter TV show, all these things, Harry Potter HBO Max show. These are all things that are trying to do to kind of move towards streaming services. So why not Peacock? Peacock is one of those ones that's kind of late to the game. But as you said, Aaron, 17,000 hours of content with the WWE. This is their way, and some of it will be live content. Some will be content that's fresh and new, not just a library. It'll be more than just the library. So all of that speaks volumes and positively for them. $1 billion. It's a win-win both ways. They get to promote their product on higher end stuff like the NFL, like other things on the programs. You're watching NBC. You're watching Peacock. You're watching The Office. Boom, here, because you didn't pay for the Peacock Premium Plus. Here's an ad for the WWE. They might convince you, to be a part of it and watch their programming because it's all under the same umbrella. Why not? Since you're already paying for it, well, check out a match. All these things are possible here through this move. So I think it's a smart move for the WWE. It's a smart move for NBC, and Vince just finds a way, man. He always finds a way, Aaron. The headlines have been ratings are down. Vince sells it for $1 billion. It's incredible. And this happens in March, right around the corner.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if the XFL, when it gets up and running, will also be a Peacock thing. And I kind of wonder how that's going to go. Yeah, man. I mean, how can you not be excited about this? I'm excited for the price cut. Yeah. And if I can get something else out of it, it's like that triple deal that they have with Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. Like, that's a hell of a deal. Right. I feel like some streaming services are overpriced. HBO Max, overpriced at $14.99. Come on, get out of here. What are you doing? Right. But it's a nice little price point. Starting on March 22nd, the Fastlane pay-per-view will be the first one that is on Peacock, and it'll be, your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams, your Survivor Series will now go from $10 to $5, which is pretty insane considering they used to be, $50 and $60, depending on if you wanted HD or not, which is insane. But yeah, dude, Vince is a survivor. He just finds ways to do this. And no one can doubt this man's business acumen at all. But my question now, so you got rid of a bunch of talent last year because of COVID and other things. Record revenue for the company. Now you're getting this $1 billion deal. You gonna bring some people back, or what are we gonna do here?
Well, Aaron, bringing people back They can't even find storylines for the people they have. I don't know. Bringing
well,
people
not
back.
I didn't mean wrestlers. I meant like backstage people, producers and stuff like that.
Maybe. Yeah, sure, I guess. But who's out there that you would want to bring back that hasn't landed in another position?
The only person I can think of that they should bring back is Mike Chioda as a referee. I think
Chioda's great. Yeah,
I think they should bring back Gerald Briscoe as a producer. I think they lost a lot getting rid of some of the producers that they did. So they could I think they could definitely afford to bring them back. I'm not saying bring the wrestlers. I think with them, they actually trimmed a lot of the fat that they had right there, with the exception of a few, of course, like a Rusev. I think they could have done more with him and a couple other guys. But as far as that goes, just bring back some producers, some backstage people. You just said it. You were talking about they don't have enough storylines for people. Yeah. Well, that's what a producer helps with, these storylines and getting people ready. So, stop spending so much money to send kids to NXT and pay them nothing, and let's get some, premium talent in there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Also, Vince should sit back and relax for a little bit, for God's sakes. But he's not going to, but he fucking should. That's for sure. All right, we got like 45 of y'all watching us live right now. Thank you so much. Can you give us a like? If you haven't given us a like, we got 23 likes so far. If you want to give some love here, J Dog sending in a super chat said 2021 Royal Rumble pick our Big E. His picks are Big E and Bianca Belair. We're definitely going to talk about that a little bit later. Those are not bad picks.
No, not at all.
I saw the WrestleMania video, and they threw out Big E as a possibility as well, essentially kind of mirroring or using the blueprint from the Kofi Kingston storyline and just shoving in Big E into that. So that's a possibility for sure. We've got Justin Toner who says, hey, John and Aaron, I caught your appearance on ESPN San Antonio's Down for the Count, John, talking Royal Rumble last night. Happy you got to do that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Justin. And we'll be playing that a little bit later, people. I think the WWE/Peacock deal is good for WWE and will give them more exposure in the next few years. Yeah, we touched on that a little bit, Aaron, but yeah, the exposure factor here can't be ignored as Vince is trying to become, once again, climb back up into this situation where he is a global brand spoken about in the same breath as the NFL or the NBA. There was a time where that was possible. There were times, like in the 80s, certainly in the 90s during the Attitude Era, you could see the Venn diagram was very big of people that crossed over between the sports and WWE. I think he wants to find his way back to that again for sure.
The scary thing is wrestling about to boom again? Because we've got, it has been booming for the past couple of years with, the indies getting better, AEW coming on the scene and different stuff. But is it going to boom even more? Because think about this. Vince McMahon is not only going to be on NBC programming for ads and stuff, but he's going to be on Fox. That's two giant network titans he's on. And these other things, these other entities, TNT and all that stuff, that's great. You can't compete with the reach that Fox has or the reach that NBC has.
Yeah.
It's unreal what Vince has been able to do. And he's essentially getting free advertising. He's getting the $1 billion deal. He's getting all that ad space. Mm-hmm. My goodness. What a great deal. Even at, $500 million, what a deal. What a steal for Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Some people figure it out. Some people understand their brand, understand their situation, and make money doing it and figure it out and always stay one step ahead or always stay afloat in some way, even during the tough times, and then surprise you with a move like this. No one was clamoring for WWE to move to NBC Peacock. No one was like, hey, this is the move, blah, blah, blah. Behind the scenes, Vince has probably been working on this for months. And then finally the moment came, pull the trigger, $1 billion. That's what I want. You hit my quota. Let's make this all happen. We'll be under one streaming service. So we'll be protected. We'll make our money ahead of time. And this could be a model for, you guys know I talk about entertainment stuff as well on other shows, but this could be the model going forward. Not just for content coming over or entire channels or apps being bought out by other companies so that they have even more content to generate more subscribers. This is also a way they might be doing this with movies as well. Let's pay Tom Cruise $60 million up front because we think he might make that much off residuals on a certain movie to cast him in this movie. That's part of the budget of the movie. And we're paying up front to buy this movie and pay Tom Cruise off so we can put this up on our streamer. So all that is going to be happening on a more frequent basis as this year goes along. I think we're going to be hearing some of those deals coming down and just marveling at the numbers that some of these actors are going to be paid, directors are going to be paid for their movies popping up on streaming services. Because the other way around is you're kind of screwing over the actor and director from any residuals if you don't. And who would agree to that? If there's money to be made. I don't know anybody that would do that for sure. Can move the network to the Outlaw Nation Max Plus.
There you go. As long as it's not overpriced at $14.99,
I would. I think $9.99 is fair.
HBO Max is so overpriced. I'm sorry. Like, I can't get over how overpriced it is. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I paid $14.99 to watch Wonder Woman, and I should have got a refund for that. But now it's over with. And now this is how smart they are, though. They're like, okay, well, we know a lot of people are going to cancel on the 25th because of Wonder Woman, because they don't want to watch. And now they put up that new Denzel Washington movie, and I was like, man, I really want to watch that, but I don't want to pay $15 to watch it. Damn it,
little things. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you've got Justice League coming in March. There's going to be more stuff coming down the road. You're essentially paying to have access to HBO, right? And that Tiger Woods documentary is stellar, absolutely stellar. That Bee Gees doc was stellar. So there's stuff there. Just a matter.
I'm not saying it's not loaded with stuff. It's just $14.99. I'm like, dude, come on.
I think that's fair, especially when you look at Disney Plus with $8 for $8 a month.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Hill Nellums has a Streamlabs here. He says, I hope Peacock upgrades their search functionality to accommodate the network, or it's going to be even harder to find stuff. That's a great point, Hill. More importantly, got Bianca for women's Royal Rumble, and I thought Bryan for men's, but I have a feeling it's going to be Brock or Cena. Yeah, Hill. All right. Your picks have been logged in our brains for when we talk about it a little bit later, but we can a little bit just Brock or Cena possible Turner.
I mean, it's a possibility.
All right.
That would put John Cena at 3 Royal Rumble wins, though. That would only tie Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
what?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I agree with you, Hill, about the search functionality. The WWE Network search functionality is bad enough.
Yeah,
it's hard enough to find stuff on the WWE Network as is, and once it moves over to Peacock, yeah, man, you got to fix that real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, Peacock has it by categories, but and there is a search function, so you can find it. It's kind of a little bit derivative of the Hulu search function, but it works for what it is. That being said, I haven't done a deep dive into the Peacock to try to find random stuff. Yeah. So maybe if I do a little bit of a thing like that, maybe I'll find some issues. But nothing's as bad as Amazon Prime. That is a fucking.
You can't find anything on Amazon Prime.
And you don't even know what's on Prime and what isn't on Prime. You click a movie, it goes, watch this movie, pay $15. Wait, it said Prime. You let me select it. And so they should just be like, only movies that are on Amazon Prime. That's all you can find here. If you want to buy the movies, you have to go to Amazon Prime. That's a separate app. That's the way you should do it. It's so goddamn frustrating, man.
Like when my friends are like, oh yeah, watch this movie on Amazon Prime. Like, where did you find it? Like, how did you know it was on there? The only thing I know that's on Amazon Prime is The Boys, and that's on the front page.
Yeah, they put it on the front page. Exactly. That's the thing. And the look of the search function on Amazon Prime just absolutely sucks, man.
Too basic.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. All right. And Chris Taylor, thanks, Hill. Appreciate the Streamlab. Please keep them coming in, folks. Show some support for the show. You see the address above Aaron's head or in the description of this video. Chris Taylor says, how crazy would it be if in a few years we see Raw no longer on USA Network, but on Peacock? Chris, I love that you think it's going to be a few years. Try a few months. It's certainly possible that it could be going streaming there on Peacock. What do you think there, Aaron?
I don't know if it'll be live streaming on Peacock. That just depends on a lot of other factors. Like, they're not going to put Law and Order SVU streaming live on Peacock. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pull their mainstays off of USA Network. Now, could a show like Ms. and Mrs. or that Stone Cold Steve Austin show go directly to Peacock from now on? Maybe.
Yeah.
Or like Chris Lee Knows Best. But I don't know about Monday Night Raw. I think Monday Night Raw in its spot is a stalwart. Like, it's been there for 20 years, 25 years, or however long Raw's been there.
Yeah.
So 26, 7, a long time. So I don't think they're ready to move it just yet. I think it would be years down the road if they did it. I don't think it'd be right away.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. All right. What do we got next here on the dash? So, we'll see. We'll look for that March, Aaron, and all that changing over. We'll look for it in March. One less app to be worried about on our Roku or Apple TVs for sure.
No doubt about it. Well, the next thing we got going on is the guy that you usually can't see, but you're going to see him in Tampa Bay, allegedly, for WrestleMania 37, and that is John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics, 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, is coming back and is all but confirmed. Rumors are swirling that he is all but confirmed for WrestleMania 37 in Tampa. And the question becomes, number one, will John Cena be in the Royal Rumble? And number two, who will John Cena face at WrestleMania? Because as we're kind of getting closer, you're kind of starting to see the Royal Rumble will tell us a lot. Yeah. You're kind of starting to see the match formation of like what's going to go down. And I don't know where John Cena fits in that. So what do you think about the Rumble possibilities and his opponent?
Well, I think it's great to bring legends back and have them have a few runs. And when he gets thrown out, I'm sure he'll be like,
damn it.
Do that thing and then march on off, like he does. And that's okay. Great. Legend came in, did his thing. Why should Cena be above any other legend that's come back after a few years away, had a fun run for a few rounds in the Royal Rumble, and then was eliminated, that in a way that shocked the audience or saddened the audience? It shouldn't be. And so it's no big deal if he does that. I think it'd be fun to see him come back for sure. That being said, I would be surprised if they're lining him up for anything other than a WrestleMania match, and then a year later another WrestleMania match, because I think he's in that Rock sphere where he's doing a million things right now. He's got that Peacemaker TV series he might be doing soon. He's certainly the Suicide Squad stuff is done, but he's also doing voiceovers. He's doing these, he's doing these commercials. So there's a lot that he's got on his plate. I just would be surprised if he'd really be willing to come back and do a months-long program with somebody.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious, if that gets dropped this year,
right?
So that's going to be huge for him. He'll probably be in that series going forward, I'd imagine. So,
yeah,
a lot of stuff on John Cena's plate. I think we're probably going to see him at the Royal Rumble as kind of a palate cleanser. Be like, oh, wow, he's been gone long enough to where it's like people might actually get excited about it. Be like, oh, my God, John Cena. But as far as WrestleMania goes, I don't know. Could he be in a tag match? Probably. I think that would be kind of boring. I mean, it's John Cena. So I don't know. Like, you can't put him in a top tier feud because there's too many guys that are close to that are too close to Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre right now that putting John Cena there would just feel really, really out of place.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't have an answer for this. I don't know where he's going to fit. I don't think he'll match up with Bray because they already did that, and Bray and Randy look like they're heading for a collision course of some kind. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe put him with an upstart. Maybe put him against the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley. I don't know, somebody.
That's a possibility. Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know, but I don't know why I call Bobby Lashley an upstart. But but as far as John Cena coming back, I'm super excited about it. I'm always happy to see him when he pops in. I think, like I said, he'll be very well received this time around. And we need to appreciate John Cena. Damn it, like the guy could still go.
Yeah,
he's jacked to the gills still. So I mean, let's take this time to stop hating on John Cena and just appreciate.
Well, I think now that we've had some time away, as someone who really didn't like John Cena when he was there, even though he's got a great theme song, I'm never going to deny that. It's nice. Now I'm like, oh yeah, of course, come on back, have a little fun. Why not? You're not the main dog anymore, so I don't have to worry about that or be upset about that. So yeah, come on back, have a little fun with the boys and do whatever. Some people suggest some interesting things like this one: Gramash John Cena versus Goldberg in a match at WrestleMania. God help us all.
It may happen. It may happen.
Christopher Spike Leather says, "I'm calling it now: Cena versus Goldberg it could be in WrestleMania." I like this possibility: Aaron John Cena versus the Fiend. Dodger Ryan 124. Maybe turning it back on the Fiend. That little cinematic match. What if he comes out to mess with the Fiend? Is the Fiend going to show up in the WrestleMania, in the Royal Rumble rather?
Well, him and Randy are doing a thing, so I think it'll be him and Randy at WrestleMania doing something. So
okay,
probably an Inferno match or something crazy. Okay. No, they already did that, so I don't know, something wild that they're going to do. Probably a cinematic match with him and Randy, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's possible. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena shows up. It'd be fun to see him. But the thing is, like when The Rock fought Cena, I remember he pulled his ribs. He ripped his ribs. Yeah. Once you haven't been doing it for a while and you're older, it can cause problems. It can cause you problems because you're not used to moving that way. You're not used to doing the moves consistently enough. So you could get injured, plus the adrenaline, all those people there. Guys in prime athletic conditions have messed their bodies up in matches like this. So you just never know what can happen here with Cena. But if he comes back, why not?
John Cena.
As soon as you hear the people are going to lose their shit, both good and bad. So there it is. I don't mind it. Here we go.
I think it'd be great if he was in the Royal Rumble and he came out first. I just think that would be cool. Like, that would be a nice little pop, because they did that once with I think it was Chris Jericho.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Or he came in. No, he came in. I think he came in second.
Yeah.
Or maybe first. I don't know. Someone will correct me, but that was like a big thing because Jericho had been gone for a long time, and he came in first or second, and people lost their shit. And I know there's no crowd or anything to lose their mind or pop like that, but it would be a cool thing to just kind of catch you off guard. Like, you think the first entrance, like Rey Mysterio or somebody that's really athletic and can go a long time, and then poof, it's John Cena. That'd be kind of fun.
All right, so what's our next? Let's see if I got one more thing. One Streamlab that came through here. Marion says, "Wouldn't be surprised if NXT gets moved to Peacock in the future." Yeah, Aaron, possibility.
I think that's a better possibility.
Okay,
that NXT could get moved to Peacock because they've been talking about, or we talked about moving NXT to a different night.
Yeah,
I think it really depends. It really depends on what. Because they work so hard to get NXT to be a live show on USA Network. Yeah. And I don't know what what live shows Peacock has, if they have any, or is it all just streaming? I don't know. If they're going to do live content, I mean, down the road, NXT would be a good thing to have, and so would Raw as well.
Yeah.
But I think they've worked so hard to get NXT on live TV. I don't see it happening for a bit.
Yeah.
But it could.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better answer, but I don't.
I think it's good to at least consider it, because with the ratings the way they are, Aaron, you're absolutely right. This could be a place to make it unique in that it's coming through the streaming service of Peacock. So you don't have to necessarily say they're competing with AEW. It's its own thing. It goes back to kind of being a unique thing that they have on the network and on the channel. So yeah, there's possibilities. I like this, Chris Taylor. Edge comes in at 1, Cena at 2. Oh,
I like that a lot. That's a classic rivalry. That would be sweet. I would be a big fan of that if that happened.
Damn,
I like that a lot.
Would Edge's dad be there, or Cena's dad? Which one got slapped? Was it Cena's dad or Edge's dad?
Cena's dad.
Cena's dad. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to our next news item. What do we got here, Aaron?
We're talking about Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, the Diesel calling out Cody Rhodes, or actually accepting Cody Rhodes' challenge, essentially. Anytime, any place, Shaq will take on Cody Rhodes. Well, it looks like that time and place is going to be AEW Revolution, as the rumors have it that it will be Cody and Red Velvet. Originally probably supposed to be Brandy Rhodes, but she's out due to pregnancy. That'll happen against Shaq and Jade Cargill in a mixed tag team match. Of course, we haven't seen Shaq since WrestleMania in 2016. When he was at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he took on the Big Show, and we thought it was going to be a WrestleMania match, but didn't really work out that way. But Shaq, not exactly a spring chicken. So what do you think about Shaquille O'Neal's prospects of being a wrestler and going in there with Cody Rhodes?
Look, people whose bodies were better for wrestling, like Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman, had a tough time pulling off these moves in their prime, Aaron, in their prime as athletes. I don't know what Shaq thinks he's doing in this situation. He's just going to lumber around the ring like, who was it? Giant Gonzalez, going to wander around the ring and just kind of do this kind of situation here. The man's got knee issues. Anything could happen in this. And I wonder if this is a replacement for what they were trying to do with Mike Tyson. When they tried to bring Tyson in, there were rumors, but of course, Tyson falling asleep didn't help. Tyson having his own things that he was going on, when he fought Roy Jones Jr., he was working on something else. So maybe that isn't what they're. So they think the Shaq situation might be better for them. But I don't know this is even worse than Goldberg, because Shaq is way out of his prime. And look, not that the man couldn't throw a punch still. I'd be scared as hell if Shaq was coming after me, no doubt. But that being said, Cody just run around the whole ring the whole time. So I don't see what the value of this is, to be honest. If this had been Shaq like 2 years, 3 years after retirement, no problem. But it's been a few years, man. And so I don't see the point of it, to be honest with you, to put this thing together. But it's for the attention for Cody Rhodes, and you get what you can. But I'll tell you this, Shaq's promo was interesting because it's 2021 and Shaq's saying he looks like a little girl. You don't insult women anymore, man. It was shocking to hear him say that like that, but that's old school thinking. That's old school thought. Somehow him wearing blonde hair makes him a girl, which is of course kind of pseudo homophobic shot there, and so I get it, but I don't like it.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in that promo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you think, man?
The thing about it is, like, I think someone said in the chat, basically Cody's going to bump like crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
He's going to do the Shawn Michaels against Hogan. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And how's Cody going to get the crossroads on Shaq? He's not. This is basically just a promo for TNT because Shaq's on TNT with the NBA stuff. Cody's on TNT with Dynamite. He's got that the Go Big show that I think he's on with Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson. Right. So it's just a promo for television. They're going to hype it up on TNT. It's going to be this big thing. Yeah. And then the match will be terrible and we'll all try to forget about it. And then we'll once again compare AEW to WCW with their gimmick matches with the, like you said, the Rodman, the Karl Malone,
Jay
Leno, like stuff like that. It's stunt casting essentially for a wrestling show to put Shaq, who is 45, and Cody Rhodes, who is 35.
Yeah.
In the ring with each other. It's not the same as 60-year-old Sting. It's not the same as a 40-some-year-old Goldberg with this Shaquille O'Neal, a guy that's 7-footer with the bad knee history, as you said. It's not like he's going to be going out there flipping and flying everywhere. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this match. You also have two younger female talents in there that are not exactly seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
So you're going to have somebody lead them through this match, and that's going to have to be Cody. So Cody's going to have to lead 3 people through a match. That's going to be really difficult. Yeah. And I just don't think it's going to be fun to watch.
I agree with you. And I mean, I think he's done a Royal Rumble in the past, hasn't he, Shaq, or some kind of wrestling thing in the past? I don't remember if he has or not, but maybe. Either way, I mean, look at this situation, and you're right. And you bring up WCW. That's an excellent, excellent comparison. The difference between the WWE and everyone else is the WWE never goes for the relics in the sports world to come in and do something. That's not their MO, not from the beginning. And even WrestleMania 1, Mr. T was in his prime as an actor, in his prime in terms of physical shape. He was brought in for this match with Hogan, a match against Piper, what have you. You had Liberace, you had Aretha Franklin. These were still names when they were around at that time. And so what have you. And so through the years, they've always brought in people who are current, people who are at the top of the game, people who are still working consistently. Nothing against Shaq. He's on TNT for sure. He's part of a 4-man booth and what have you. But he's retired and he doesn't play anymore. And he's just, he's doing commercials for the General Insurance. And this is
and Papa John's.
Right? And again, nothing against Shaq. Look, Shaq's a successful man who has turned his personality and his charm and his natural charisma into money, multiple revenue streams. Got no issues with that. But this doesn't excite anybody to have Shaq rolling into the you get me, you get Anthony Davis, then people get excited. You get Tyson Fury, right? You bring in Tyson Fury. As much as I hated that idea, it worked. And so it's like, that's a guy that's still in his prime as well. So these Mayweather, where they brought in Mayweather in his prime against the Big Show. These are the things that WWE does that other federations do worse. And it shows that they're low rent. It shows these are 99-cent moves in a higher end store. And so when you do that, people naturally think your overall product is 99 cents. And so I think that's the mistake with doing crap like this. I get that you're cross-branding. That Snoop elbow drop was fucking ridiculous. And that's it's the kind of lame ass shit where it turns you into a punchline instead of achieving that goal of cross-branding and of elevating your product. It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. But Cody's running it. He makes the final say. I just don't see what you get out of this. I don't see what the win factor is here.
The only thing I can think of is to just bring more so Dynamite's going to get their ads on NBA TV, which they already do anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more this is going to bring. Like, I don't think people are excited to be like, oh, look at this awesome match between Cody Rhodes, who's that again, and Shaq.
Yeah.
I'm not saying outside of the wrestling bubble, I think people are like, what the hell is this? And then, but I don't mean to discount Cody, what that sounds like. I love Cody and I love what he's done on Dynamite, but the Go Big Show is a ratings hit, so people are starting to figure out who he is. So maybe I'm wrong about all this, and it ends up being a great match. I doubt it, but it's just not something I want to see. And I keep saying that with AEW. It's like, Sting coming back, it's something I don't really want to see. This match, it's something I really don't want to see. And I hate saying that. Like, I want to be excited about all wrestling, but this match, I don't really want to see that.
It's an excellent point. Zachary Taylor says, Vince wins again, and I love it. Carl Urban as Cinema Vince. I am beyond stoked for the Rumble. Rewatched WrestleMania 18, I think is what he's saying. Or rewatched, is it Rumble 18? Chills and emotions galore. Much love. Is that what he's saying? X18?
I think he's talking about WrestleMania X18.
Yeah, WrestleMania 18. Yeah, it was chills and emotions galore. Much love. Absolutely, Zachary. Carl Urban, is he playing Vince McMahon? Is that the casting?
I don't know, but that's an interesting choice. I always thought that Christopher McDonald, the guy that plays Shooter McGavin, would be a really good older Vince.
Yeah.
I think he looks a lot like him. Like, he played essentially Jerry Jones in Ballers, and he reminded me in his mannerisms and the way he would talk. He reminded me a lot of Vince. So I think he would have been a good pick a few years ago. I don't think so right now. But Carl Urban's a great pick. Like a young Vince, Carl Urban, and maybe Christopher McDonald could be the old Vince. That'd be cool. I'd be into it. Carl Urban can do anything.
I'm down. I agree. Carl Urban could do anything. Certainly his Bones is fucking fantastic in the Star Trek series for sure. All right. What do we got next? Dredd. He's great in Dredd. If you haven't watched Dredd, ladies and gentlemen, watch Dredd. Let's see. No, we got no Streamlabs Super Chats, no new ones. So let's move on to our next thing, my man. What do we got?
All right. So now we're talking our Royal Rumble preview. Now, guys, what I want you to do is, pop into the chat. Tell us who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble for the men's and the women's. If you want to throw some ducats in there, do that. We can talk about that way. Throw some shekels at us if you're a Kevin Smith fan. I want to know from you guys who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we got to run off a few matches that are happening. Originally, what I read, it was going to be Carmella versus Sasha Banks, but that apparently is not happening. Okay. So instead, we're going to get Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championships. I don't know about you, John, but this is a match I really don't give a shit about at all. I really do not care. As long as Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler do not win, I'm cool.
Also, as long as they don't hurt anybody, or Nia hurts anybody, I think that's another one. That's another part of this. And you're putting them in the ring with, two athletes you really don't want to see get hurt. So overall, I don't care about it. It's a match that's going to happen. And Aaron and I, by the way, just if you haven't heard, Aaron Turner and I will be doing a watch along of Royal Rumble on Sunday, started at 4 p.m. PT.
Show the graphic.
Oh yeah, show the graphic. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, I'll bring it up here in just a second while we talk about it here. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing at the end of when you're looking at it, is like, well, does this make sense? Is it work for you? Are you excited about it at all? And it doesn't really excite me at all. But as I said, we're going to be doing a Royal Rumble. Here is the graphic here, 4 p.m. PT. Aaron Turner and I doing our Royal Rumble watch along here on Sunday. So you'll be able to watch the Royal Rumble, not through us, but you can watch it with us. Yep. We'll be commenting on everything and what we're seeing and whatever. So we will not have the sound up so that you can hear it on our end, but you'll be able to listen to us speaking about it as it's happening on the screen. So feel free to join us. We'll put the link out, and I'll tweet it out, and I'm sure Aaron will tweet it out as well. So if you want to join us at 4 p.m. PT on Sunday, we will do that. Now, I imagine this is the match that's going to lead off the show, or maybe this is the 3 p.m. match. I don't know. There's a 3 p.m. An hour-long preview as well that they're doing.
We ain't covering that shit. So
no.
We're only getting the main show. So sorry about that, guys. But So just Asuka and Charlotte could win. That's fine. Did you watch any of Raw? Like, it's fine if you didn't. But okay, so Dana Brooke took a one-armed slam from Nia Jax, and it was nasty. Like, I don't know if she hurt her or not. Like, I don't think she did, but it looked bad. And damn, that's all I can say about it is damn.
I mean, at what point is enough, my man? At what point do you have how much more evidence do you need? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of scary to watch the way she puts, and maybe they all talked about it and it's totally fine. But to me, it looked like something that was, I don't know, possibly going to hurt her. Dana, and Dana's just getting a decent push.
Yeah,
which would suck, to be
her
honest.
And Mandy are getting a nice push as a tag team. Maybe we'll see a little bit more Mandy Rose would be nice. Our next match we can talk about is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship in a last man standing match. This will be, I believe, the third match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, and I don't think that Kevin Owens is going to win this one. So I see the Tribal Chief holding on, but if we know anything about Kevin Owens in these type of matches, he's going to put on a damn show, and Kevin Owens is great, and I can't wait to see what they pull off. But I think ultimately Roman Reigns stays the Tribal Chief, head of the table, going on to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so too. And Kevin Owens has been a great foil for Reigns, and he's having to cheat to win, which is part of the heel persona. But he's having to cheat to win to beat Owens, and Reigns spoke about the differences between him and Owens, how they approach this thing, and how they've kind of really worked together to create some good matches over this program. And he had nothing but compliments for Kevin. He's like, Kevin is just as dedicated and committed as I am. He wants to, kind of grab that brass ring. And no matter how many times you tell him no, he keeps fighting to move up that chain. And so I respect that person as someone who's gone through it myself. So I think that's why we work well together, because we have the same mentality, but two completely opposite ways into the business. And it makes for a great program because we're two complete opposites. And I 1,000% agree. And I think Kevin Owens I don't know. I feel like Kevin Owens might have a shot at winning this thing, and just for shock value. And then Reigns wins it back before WrestleMania. And they set up whatever they're going to do for WrestleMania. But, I mean, Owens has been doing so well in these matches, Aaron. I feel like you have to reward him in some way, don't you? I feel like you have to in some way. And what's his face did that, the former Pierce, what's his name? He
Adam
came in
Pearce.
there. Yeah, Adam Pearce. What Adam Pearce did by setting this whole thing up, is he going to play a role in this come Sunday in some way? This injury that he had, is he going to play a role in some way that helps Kevin Owens win this match? I wonder.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I love Kevin Owens, and I think Kevin Owens will have plenty more chances to be the top guy again. He had that short Universal title reign, which got ruined by Goldberg. And I think we'll be fine. I think Kevin Owens will be fine. Don't worry about Kevin. He's going to be fine.
Fine. I just rewatched that chokeslam from night. I mean, what a botch. What an absolute botch. She can't bend down all the way, so she just dropped her. That's ridiculous, man.
I mean, it looked bad. It looked like it hurt.
You can't she hit that canvas with her head hard and just laid flat. She didn't roll around. She didn't do whatever. She was done. And so,
she could have been selling. I don't know.
Maybe
she could have been, but it looked bad.
They're saying she's fine, but it could be WWE kind of covering themselves too.
She is fine, but anyway, moving on. So now we're talking about Drew McIntyre versus Bill Goldberg for the WWE Championship in what a lot of people think will be another Goldberg shining moment. I don't know how you feel about that. Why don't you tell me what you think about Goldberg's chances of becoming WWE champion?
I said this before. Or maybe I didn't. We were talking about it yesterday. We were doing a little pre-pro yesterday. I don't see how this is a win-win in any way, shape, or form for Drew McIntyre. I just don't. I think I did say it on the show a couple of weeks ago. I don't see how this is a win in any way, shape, or form for McIntyre. If he beats Goldberg, he beat an old retired wrestler. If he loses to Goldberg, an old retired wrestler beats you. Yeah. There's no win here at all. This doesn't elevate McIntyre up the chain. This doesn't make people look at McIntyre and go, whoa, he can do it. It isn't. It doesn't do anything. The only way that this helps McIntyre is if McIntyre absolutely kicks the shit out of Goldberg, pillar to post for 10 minutes. Just beats him. Like what Lesnar did to Cena. If he can do that to Goldberg, then that helps McIntyre. But a win or a loss, a simple straight win or a loss after a 3-minute match, let's be real, won't do anything for him either way, win or lose. Yeah. But if he kicks if grabs the spear and just throws Goldberg across the ring, which Goldberg's never going to agree to, but if he could do that, then that's how Goldberg pays back the business by putting this kid over. Because Goldberg doesn't need to be fighting for belts. And let's get out of here. He should be enjoying his retirement. He's a successful man. He's got a legacy, whatever. But they shouldn't be putting a belt. So this isn't like Hogan coming back against Triple H. And winning the belt thanks to Undertaker's help. That was just, that's Hogan, man. That's Hogan. That's a whole nother ballgame. Or even The Rock beating Cena the first time. That's a whole nother ballgame. But this kind of a situation here, it doesn't help anybody. It almost destroyed the Fiend, his loss to Goldberg, and then Kevin Owens, like you said, taking it off him. I mean, Goldberg beating Owens, get the fuck out of here. It just was so frustrating. And so if they're gonna have McIntyre lose to him or barely win, it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help at all. The only thing that helps him is if he kicks the crap out of him, which I don't see happening, to be honest with
you. You ready for a bold prediction? I'm with Hill Nellums. I think Drew squashes him. I think he goes for that spear. And Drew McIntyre claymores his ass.
Yep.
And that's it. And it's going to be that quick, I think, because you want to put Drew McIntyre over strong as a big time threat right there.
Yep.
Right there.
Exactly.
That's how you make him a top guy. And he is a top guy, but you keep him as your top guy. He smashes this dude that's talking all this shit and calling him a bitch and all this stuff. And Drew McIntyre just comes out, absolutely smashes him. He smashed Brock Lesnar.
He did. You're right. He did.
So, I mean, come on. He can do it to anybody.
Do you trust him to get it right, though, man? Do you trust him?
I do. I trust him. He's going to get Claymore right in the face.
Okay.
And then you got to think about The Miz, too. There are a lot of people in the chat talking about The Miz. Right. So The Miz has money in the bank.
Yeah.
So it's very possible. Goldberg could get mad, spear Drew McIntyre after. I don't know. That'd be a heel move, so I don't know if he'd do that. But then The Miz cashes in, or maybe The Miz tries to cash in. Drew McIntyre foils him. I don't know. We'll see. But as far as it goes, I think Drew McIntyre is going to win and win handily.
Yeah, fair. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's the only way this helps him is if he absolutely squashes Goldberg. It's true. All right. What's next?
All right. So now we're talking about the women's Royal Rumble match. There are a lot of rumors swirling about possible entrance in this. Does Ronda Rousey come back?
Yeah.
Will we see Taya Valkyrie? I saw people in the chat saying, does Tessa Blanchard show up
that's true.
at this women's Royal Rumble? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. This is going to be two of the funnest Rumbles we've had in a long time. I thought the men's last year was really fun. Last year's women's left a little bit to be desired. So I'm hoping this year is a good bounce back. But, man, I'm excited to see who's going to pop into the women's Royal Rumble. We know that Sasha Banks is the champion and Asuka's the champion, so we probably won't see either one of them, which is a shame because Sasha's a real go-getter in these kind of matches, and she's good at going deep. But will we see Becky Lynch? I don't think so. I think it's a little early to see Becky Lynch, but there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of people that could show up. A lot of people are thinking Bianca Belair. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah.
I think she's definitely in on that. I think that Bayley is kind of a dark horse pick. I think you could see Bayley and Sasha go at it one more time on the grandest stage of them all. I think that would be really awesome. Or I'll go with my pick, which is Rhea Ripley.
Ooh.
And I could see Rhea Ripley. She's done it in NXT. She lost the last woman standing match. Mm-hmm. She's been the champion. She's done all that she could do in NXT. She was the first NXT UK women's champion. She's been NXT women's champion. There's nothing else that she needs to do. She had a WrestleMania match with Charlotte Flair, which was great.
Yeah.
And why not put her in that spot again and have her take that belt off of Asuka? I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring up. And I think that's where we get excited about all the possibilities here overall of who might be taking this thing. And I wonder for sure, and I wonder like who you're looking at overall. The ones you brought up here, these are all possibilities. And Bianca Love, Bayley's, all these possibilities as well. But I don't know if Bianca's ready. And the Rhea Ripley situation, do you think they owe her, or is this another situation where they maybe something's happened and they're trying to bury her? And I'm seeing people in the comments saying that no NXT talent is going to show up unless they're being called up. So
which would be Rhea.
Yeah, which would be Rhea. So maybe this is a double thing, to be honest with you, where they bring up Rhea and bring her onto the show. But do you think they'll give her the shine by having her win it as well? That seems.
I really do. I know that's a long shot, but you got to think of who's won this the past couple of years. You had Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Asuka. So I don't think they're going to repeat any of those people. I'm sure that Asuka and Charlotte will be in it. I don't know about Becky Lynch. That's a wild card. If it's not going to be Rhea or Bianca Belair or somebody young, then it's going to have to be an established person. And I think if a Ronda Rousey did come back, then Ronda Rousey would win it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think you do that in front of a crowd. You don't do that when there's no crowd, which, your hands are kind of tied with that right now anyway. But
yeah,
I think that Rhea Ripley's getting called up. I think that Damian Priest gets called up as well, because there's just nothing left for them to do in NXT. So it makes the most sense for them to show up. And what better way to put a star on the map than have them win the Royal Rumble?
That's true. That's a good point. And, Rhea did such an excellent match against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. It was one of the matches that was the talk of that WrestleMania for sure. And like Aaron pointed out, she's been on a little bit of a losing streak. So what better way to turn it around and have her on the show and have her kick ass on the show? That's certainly possible, and do her thing. And look, Rhea's a ready-made star already. Yeah. Any chance Toni Storm shows up in this thing, even though they said they're not gonna probably show people do you think Toni Storm's a possibility?
Well, here's the thing. I know people said, NXT isn't showing up. They're going to have to, because they don't have enough female talent on their rosters to fill a 30-person Royal Rumble. So they're going to need some NXT people. They're going to be a mix of legends in there, I'm sure we might. I don't think we'll see Trish or Lita or Molly Holly, people that have been there. But you and I talked about Melina. It's a possibility. I think she could show up. Tori Wilson might show up. Kelly again. So it really just depends on... it really just depends on who they want to get in there. Beth Phoenix, I don't think she's going to be in it this year, because she had like a hell of a run last year. So, the women's Royal Rumble is really intriguing, and I'm getting hyped for it. People in the chat saying they're getting hyped up for it. We're hyping them up, Rocha. So I'm really excited for it. And the Royal Rumble is like my favorite thing, other than WrestleMania, which I hope to go to this year. This is like my favorite thing. So I'm ready.
Agreed. All right. We shall see. I've got some thoughts on it, and I shared them for the Women's Royal Rumble. I'll play a clip now. I was on Down for the Count last night with them, and we were talking about the Women's Royal Rumble. I was talking with the two gentlemen there, Dan Solana and Brandon Medina. Dan follows me on Twitter and asked me to come on. He was really gracious to have me on. It was great meeting Brandon as well and having the conversation. And here's my choice for who I think might win the Women's Royal Rumble. Let's listen to what I thought.
Now, what about the Women's Royal Rumble? Who do you think is going to win this one, John?
I think Alexa Bliss. I think Bliss. I didn't think about that. It was good. Like, I kind of put it in the back of my mind because I love Alexa. Look, I worship at the altar of Sasha and Alexa and Bayley a little bit just below them. But like, I thought for sure, like, Alexa would have no shot at this. She's got like the program with Randy and the Fiend and all of that, and throwing fireballs at people's faces. I didn't think she'd be. But how she went toe to toe with Asuka and almost beat her the other night. That to me completely changed my mind. Plus, she came out with this whole new look afterwards, and I'm like, what does this mean? Is she elevating out of this program to kind of stand on her own again, without, not necessarily without the Fiend, but certainly not needing the Fiend as much? Will she jump out of that and win this thing? And I think that's in my mind now, all of a sudden, that's become the odds-on favorite to win is Alexa.
And John, people can make fun of that Alexis thing and go, "Oh my God, look, she's on a playground. It's silly." Because that's what I thought at first too. I'm like, this is so cheesy. This is so corny. But go to the WWE YouTube page. Look at the views. Yeah. I think last time I checked, it was like 2.2 million views for that Alexa Bliss versus Asuka match.
Yeah.
And the second best of views was Edge. 400,000. So they're doing something right there. So we could be snobby wrestling fans and go, that's stupid, but it's putting butts in seats. It's putting eyeballs on the screen. So I think Alexa Bliss would be a good choice. But before we got to go, guys, let's look at the actual.
There you go. That was the tried to cut it off real quick, but yeah, that was a piece there. So Alexa Bliss is my choice, Aaron. That's my choice. Alexa Bliss. Me and you, we talked about it yesterday. Full credit. We talked about it yesterday. This is an opinion you shared with me as well, and I agreed with you. Like, this is the possibility. There's something she showed out in that match against Asuka that makes me think they're lining her up again. And Alexa puts butts in seats, as my man Dan said there. Alexa gets views. People love Alexa, and I know there's a strain of wrestling fans who hate her and think she can't wrestle, but she can do great character work, and she delivers good matches. So I don't know, just saying.
I like what he said when he said that stuff was fun. Like, yeah, it was. Yeah. Monday was really fun when she changed from creepy Alexa to like regular Alexa, and she was crying, and then she turned into like even darker Alexa. That was a lot of fun. So she's kind of like an outside possibility to win the Royal Rumble. I think she's up there. She's definitely in like the top 5 of people that could win it, which is what's going to make this awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys, we need to watch this together. It's going to be awesome. I hope everybody can make it.
Join us at 4 p.m. PT on Sunday. We'll definitely be doing that. All right, let's move on to the men's Royal Rumble. I got some stuff for that too, but we'll play a little bit later as we talk about this. What do we got here, Aaron?
All right, I've said for a while now that I think it's going to be Brock Lesnar that's going to win the Royal Rumble. I think he's going to come back and surprise everybody. Edge did his thing, hey, I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble, this great speech that he did. It was great, very passionate, which tells me that Edge isn't going to win, because why would you do that and then just have Edge win? That's boring.
True.
So I think what's going to happen right there, guys, I'm going to make the prediction now before it gets crazy, is I think that Edge is going to come in, Seth Rollins is going to come back, and he's going to eliminate Edge.
Wow.
And how that's going to go and why that's important is because, if you remember a few years back when Seth was I think he was the Money in the Bank winner, or he might have been the champion at the time, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. He had Edge ready to stomp him on the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then he didn't do it. But
I remember that. He held his leg up in the air and stopped.
Yeah, so they got history.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a cool thing. 2 super athletic guys going at it. That's a match I've wanted to see since Edge came back, is Edge and Seth Rollins. And I think we're going to get that at WrestleMania. I think they match up well, and that'll be a great one.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear what I got to say here on this whole situation. Well, actually, no. Everyone says Daniel Bryan. A lot of people are predicting Daniel Bryan. Aaron, do you think Daniel Bryan? He's the number 1 entrant. If anyone can go all the way and win this thing, aside from Ric Flair, it is Daniel Bryan.
It's true.
Do you think that's a possibility?
Once again, like with this Rumble as well, I think there's about 5 good candidates that could definitely win this Royal Rumble. Do I think Dolph Ziggler's going to win? Hell no. Could Daniel Bryan win? Possibly. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've got the possibility that Goldberg comes, loses and then jumps back in the Rumble. You got all this kind of variables. John Cena, we talked about earlier. Could he win the Royal Rumble for the 3rd time? Brock Lesnar hasn't even been confirmed for the Rumble. Could he come back and win? Does Kevin Owens jump in this thing? Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, do they give him a big push finally? I don't know. It's all kinds of possibilities in this Rumble. I think it's a little more difficult to predict the women's than it is the men's this year. I think with Daniel Bryan, he's definitely been getting the feud going with Roman Reigns. That's something I'm definitely watching out for. Yeah. Brock Lesnar's got a built-in feud with either Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns. It'll work either way. Yeah. So that's why I kind of lean towards Brock. But Daniel Bryan is also a solid pick. Yeah. Solid pick this year. And I think you can't count out Edge or AJ Styles either.
No, that's a good point. But Big E is someone that J-Dog mentioned earlier. A lot of people I've been seeing now, the prediction meter is going high, is moving higher up it's I don't know. The prediction meter is high right now for the possibility of Big E stepping in and winning this thing, and that's certainly possible. Do you think it's too early?
I just think it's too early. I mean, I know Big E's been with the company for 10 years, but I still think it's just not his time yet. I think maybe next year it's Big E's time. We've got these people hanging around. We've got Goldberg, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, everybody kind of in the mold here, and I just think Big E's kind of getting pushed out. He's just outside of that right now. Yeah. And I think by next year, he's going to be the guy.
Okay. I think Brock is a very distinct possibility if he comes back, because wouldn't that be incredible to have him get, just focused on trying to get revenge on Roman Reigns? This whole thing turned around where we're cheering for Lesnar to win this thing so he can.
For the record, I always cheer for Brock Lesnar. But a couple a couple things I think you're going to see in the men's Rumble. It's going to be awesome. I would be thrilled if Walter showed up from NXT UK, if you could get him and Brock Lesnar in the ring together, or him and Keith Lee, that would be something. You can't forget about Keith Lee. He's in there too. So that's going to be awesome to see him and Brock lock horns again if they do, like they did at last year's Rumble. That'll be fun. So yeah, man, a lot of good stuff is going to go down this Royal Rumble. You got to join us.
WrestleMania, definitely join us at 4 p.m. on Sunday. WrestleMania thought Otis might be number 30. Is that a possibility in your mind?
Sure, why not? I always like it. I mean, number 30 is not going to win unless it's Brock Lesnar.
That's only won 3 times. They've only won 3 times the entire Royal Rumble. That's insane.
I don't know, man. You got to look at people that live in Florida too. Does Big Dave show up? Does Big Dave Batista show up? Oh, he lives in Tampa.
That's true.
That's a short drive to St. Petersburg. I mean, does he show up? I don't know, but
I love this.
We'll see. That'll be fun.
Murderanta says, "Come on, Aaron, don't you dare be sour."
You know it's true. You know he's a year away from being the guy, but he's going to be the guy. Him and Keith Lee are going to be the guys soon enough. Believe me.
There's Lars Sullivan.
Is he still alive? Like,
I don't know.
Lars Sullivan doing? Is he still in the company?
I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Let's see here. We got Christine. She donated Streamlabs. She said, "Hello, heyo. My predictions from the heart wants Bianca Belair and Big E or Daniel Bryan to win their respective Rumbles. Keen for the Rumble watch along with you guys." Oh, thank you, Christine.
Yes, sweet.
We look forward to having you for sure. All right, let me play a little clip by my last clip here for my time last night. It was a 15-minute interview. You can go watch the full interview there on ESPN San Antonio. They have I think they have a YouTube page, but also a Facebook page. You can watch. It's about an hour-long thing. Bobby Lashley was on it as well. But they had me on for like 15 minutes to talk about it. They introduced me, and then we got into what we think might be the biggest pop. Who would get the biggest pop if they were to show up at the Royal Rumble? And Aaron, I want to get your thoughts about it after that we play the clip.
Right now, another beautiful moments. The Outlaw John Rocha from Strong Style Wrestling. Why do you hate the Iconics? I know you hate the Iconics. You were so triggered when they won the tag team championships a couple years ago, and I bet you were so happy when they broke up.
Well, it was time for them to break up when they did break up because they had kind of run their course. They were becoming glorified jobbers. And at some point, you've got to do something with them. And I think they've done better apart, honestly, than they did together, especially Billie Kay. She is killing it on the mic. Who saw that coming?
My heart. My heart, John Rocha.
Yeah, John. Unfortunately, Dan seems to have this just obsession with the Iconics that stems years back for zero reason.
Zero reasons.
Big Poppy, it's Brandon. It's mind blowing to me because I'm like, Dan, they don't win matches. No. What are you basing your love of them on?
They are entertaining, John.
Yeah,
John, we need to do a long form podcast about where I need to school you about the beauty and the talent and the entertainment value of the Iconics. But John,
my question to you guys is, are we going to see another similar pop to that? Is it going to be Seth Rollins? Who can we expect to possibly make that comeback and walk down that ramp at number whatever in the Royal Rumble?
The Mountie. What do you think, John? The Mountie is my pick because hey, Jacques Rougeau is going to have a Dark Side of the Ring coming out, so it's not out completely. There's a non-zero chance that the Mountie comes out. But John, who do you think is going to be a surprise entrance into the Men's Royal Rumble?
B. Brian Blair. No, but
Brian Blair. Iron Sheik comes out there, runs out there, screams at him.
Jabroni. I think if you're looking for an edge level pop, the only person that's going to do that is CM Punk. The only person, and everyone has said, or Becky Lynch if she comes out with the Women's Royal Rumble. A lot of that. There's rumors floating around about that as well. But I think those are the two that'll get the highest. I mean, Seth coming back will be great, but people will lose their minds if CM Punk comes back because they've been saying it every year. And CM Punk said he was quarantining in January for a new job. So a lot of people now are speculating, well, he's going to be finished with the quarantine just before the Royal Rumble. So does that mean that's what he's doing? Is he coming back? He's hinted that he's not done with wrestling. And I'm not trying to be one of those marks that talks about Punk coming back. But if you're asking me which pop would be the loudest, it has to be CM Punk.
Hey, I'd mark out for that CM Punk.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Recently, I think he said like if the money was right.
Yeah,
that's anybody. But CM Punk, deserves a lot of money. That would alter the game of wrestling completely as it stands. Right now, obviously me, you, Dan, I'm sure you as well, John. AEW is so big right now. It's so hot. It's gaining traction by the week.
Yep.
CM Punk comes back to WWE. This whole thing is flipped on its axis.
It's a great point. Yeah, and they're desperate for ratings right now, aren't they? And they just signed that deal with Peacock. They sold themselves for $1 billion to Peacock. So they're looking. So I know Vince is whipping out that checkbook. He will sign those checks. If you have, imagine this, Seth Rollins, Edge, and CM Punk in the ring at the same time. Those are three of the greatest to ever do it, throwing each other around a ring for a few minutes. All right, there you go, Aaron. What do you think about that? What are you doing off camera?
Well, hold on. I have to change shirts. This is ridiculous. Number one, it's hot in this room, but I got to change shirts. Hold on.
I see a lot of love for my points of views on the Iconics in the chat here. I see a lot of love. Oh, there it is. Oh, Lord.
Even talking about, bro? What are you even talking about?
Oh, my God.
What are you even talking about?
Yeah, what do you think, man? I think you can't deny that they're better apart than they ever were together. Billie Kay on the mic doing great work. Peyton Royce getting better in the ring, or at least they're letting her get better in the ring. You certainly can deliver a great match. So I don't know. I feel like they've been better apart than they ever were together. And you can't deny that they were becoming glorified jobbers, man. They were on like a 72 match losing streak before they finally broke them up. It was ridiculous.
I think Billie Kay has definitely benefited this more than Peyton Royce, for sure. Like Peyton Royce had her moment when she pinned Bayley.
Yes,
and that was cool. But Billie Kay with the here's my resume and that whole thing is fucking hilarious. And I just want her to keep doing stuff because she's so talented and so funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you might be right. Yeah, they might be better apart. I mean, I'll admit it. I think they might be better apart, but they're so fun.
Yeah.
God, they're so fun. He's right. The guy's right, though.
Yeah, Dan Solana. Dan's great.
Dan's
we
right.
should definitely have Dan and maybe Brandon too on the show, but certainly Dan would be fun to have as a guest on our show. He was really just a joy to hang out with him and Brandon over there, and the producer, I think Chris was his name, and I was making fun of him for wearing a Deshaun Watson jersey because I'm like, you might as well just write WFT on that because I got a feeling we're going to trade for him, and he got all depressed about it. So it was very funny. But what do you think about? Yeah, true. He is gone. What do you think about what I said? Do you think well, I mean, I'm not trying to mark, like I said. Do you think Punk is the possibility, or this is just him teasing people with talking about quarantining for a new job? Do you think it's possible? I mean, Punk, Rollins, and Edge, and that's a hell of a trio in the ring, bro.
There's always a possibility. You know, the never say never applies to wrestling a lot, but
yes, true.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it happen, dude. Especially with no crowd. Like, God,
good point.
What a worthless comeback if there's no crowd. And I know, once again, can't really do anything about that.
Yeah.
And I saw, I think Richie was talking about Florida being an open state when it comes to COVID. Yes, but they're not allowing people for the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania, right. Yes, as far as it goes, but not the Royal Rumble. So without that pop, it just seems like CM Punk, who lives for that crowd stuff, I don't see it.
Yeah, Gramash said that. He agrees with you, rather. I don't see CM Punk coming back.
Yeah.
No crowd. Yeah, sure, certainly. UFC Sarandas, I mean, does AJ Lee return at some point if Punk returns? No,
I think she's done.
She's done. Yeah, she's very much focused on what she's doing outside of the world of professional wrestling, tackling mental health issues and speaking about them so powerfully, writing about her life. So, yeah, AJ Lee is quite happy with the new job that she's built for herself and the platform and using the platform in a very positive manner for sure. But Punk's always a possibility, but probably right. Probably not coming back to no crowd. But couldn't you say that for Cena? Cena coming back to no crowd either. I mean, is it the same thing?
You could, but then again, he may not come back. He may just come back for WrestleMania. He's not confirmed for the Rumble. So
true.
Could be right about that too. He may just come back for WrestleMania.
All right. Oh, well, if you could make one prediction before we wrap up here, if you could make one prediction that would be a surprise to show up in the Royal Rumble, what would it be for you?
For me, it would be Ronda Rousey showing up in the women. Are we talking about men's or women's or both?
Either.
Okay, for me, it would be Ronda Rousey showing up in the women's Royal Rumble. That would be some shit. I would pop huge for that, and I might do it on Sunday at 4 PST.
Right. Okay. All right. What I got Adam Cole. Or would they have the balls to put Velveteen Dream in there?
Oh God, I don't know, dude.
They're trying to push Velveteen, aren't they? So
not really. They're just kind of washing their hands of Velveteen, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
all right,
this dude had all the talent in the world, everything going for him, and never been convicted of anything. But the accusations have really hurt this guy.
That's true. They're kind of up there right now. Yeah, it's no denying it for sure. Do you see Finn Balor making a comeback at all?
No, I don't see Finn doing it because Finn's been in NXT and he's been great. He's the NXT champion. He has no need to go back up to the main roster and do this kind of stuff.
We saw Gargano come the last WrestleMania or last Royal Rumble, and and his wife as well. She showed up for the women's Royal Rumble. So is that a possibility?
I think Candice will be in the women's. I think something that's more likely to happen is Tommaso Ciampa being in the men's.
Yeah,
and staying on the main roster and getting out of NXT. I think it's something that could happen. I think we'll probably see Damian Priest as well, and I think he will stay up. But Tommaso Ciampa would be another one I would look out for to go up and stay out of NXT.
Okay. All right. Zeno Harris says Jay Washington's convinced Tessa Blanchard is debuting in the Royal Rumble. I mean, you want to talk about a pop? You debuted Tessa to nobody who was in the ring?
Well, I don't know if Tessa would get a pop. So it's just okay. For some, yes.
Yeah, Jeremy says I think she would get a big pop, but don't be surprised if she gets booed. Yeah,
that's true. Will Jay Washington be joining us? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna try.
Find out Sunday.
Find out Sunday exactly. Christine donated. Oi, Rocha, did you go to journalism for that? Jokes aside, Billy is killing it on SmackDown. Yes, she is, Christine. I said that, Christine. I said that she's killing it on SmackDown.
Iconic Billy Kay. We love Billy Kay.
Right. I'd love to get Billy Kay on this show to talk to her about her experience, and she'd probably destroy me for all the stuff I've said about the Iconics, but who knows? All right. Anyway, any final words before we wrap up here, Aaron? Any final bits of news, or are we good to go?
Nope. 4 p.m. PST. Join us on Sunday. It's going to be awesome. At Only Aaron Turner on Twitter. Yep, I made that graphic. It looks great.
You did a good job.
Join us for that, and I cannot wait. And I'm thinking, Rocha, if during the watch along we get some Streamlabs and Super Chats and at a certain level, then maybe someone can pop in and watch it with us. I think some folks in the chat. I think that would be a cool incentive. So if you want to pop in at a certain level, I don't know what the donation amount would be, but if you want to pop in and watch it with us even more so and talk about it with us, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe we'll create some goals as well for y'all to hear some wrestling stories, some behind the scenes wrestling stories for me and Aaron. Maybe that's always possible. Aaron goes to a lot of these conventions and meets a lot of these wrestlers, so there might be some stories to be told for sure. You never know. There's some stuff, you just never know. Just throwing it out there. So join us 4 p.m. PT on Sunday for this Royal Rumble watch along. I can't wait. We will have the cameras on Aaron and I, and we will be watching it. So you'll be listening to our commentary as we watch the whole thing. So you can still have Cole and all them talking and whatever, but you might have us as well hanging out with you and enjoying it. And yes, we'll bring some of you in live. We'll bring we'll answer your questions, your Super Chats, your Streamlabs, all of that throughout the night. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come and join it. The first time trying it. So come and join us and have a little fun with us for
new content like we promised you guys.
Exactly. All right, Aaron, you can find him at Only Aaron Turner. You can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below and like this video, please. More than anything else, like this video, subscribe. That elevates the visibility of this video and this show and this channel. So that's the way that you can help. If you can't donate, certainly that's a great way to help, telling your other friends about this show here. And please go and watch my full interview with ESPN San Antonio with Dan and Brandon down there on their YouTube page or on their Facebook page and enjoy. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought for sure. It was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of things with pro wrestling, and hopefully they'll have you back. They said they had a great time. We'll see. Maybe we'll bring Dan and Brandon on, or one of them on, to hang out with us and have a little fun talking wrestling in the future. All right. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a fun weekend. Come and join us at 4 p.m. PT. And if you can't, that's fine. Just take care of yourselves. Practice social distancing. Wear your masks and come back and join us next Friday for another brand new live episode, Strong Style, here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Peace.